All right, let's hear from a few more people. We do calls via Discord. You can find the David Pakman Show Discord at davidpakman.com/Discord. Let's, in this next tranche of calls, let's go to Alexander the Texan. Alexander, you were on the air.
Hi, David. I hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to get your take on something. So I'm seeing with a lot of what I would call the American bad leftists and a lot of the general right wing, two specific stories that they ran really hard on, one of which being allegations of perjury against Anthony Fauci that The Intercept wrote about.
Yep.
The other of which being, excuse me, the current stories about Hunter Biden. Among more of the common sense left-wing channels, I would go as far as to saying it seems like this story is being kind of ignored. I would just like to hear your thoughts on this, please, sir.
Yeah, so I'll go backwards. I mean, with the Hunter Biden stuff, I just don't really get what the story would be for me. So when I see I follow the right-wing headlines, and I see that, I think it was last week, maybe 5 days ago, a bunch of articles popped up about Hunter Biden's emails again and pictures or whatever. I just don't get what the story is for me. I mean, he's a guy who has struggled in his life. He's not only not the president, but unlike with Trump, because Biden doesn't, have his kids working for him, Hunter's not involved in government. So I just don't really know what the story is, other than just that his last name is Biden and he's Joe Biden's son. So that's why I've not covered that one. Does that make sense?
I think people are complaining about the nepotism, the fact that he was able to get certain jobs or certain things through his dad being the vice president. And it would seem in the emails that have been released that's kind of being corroborated. Now, of course, I'm a simpleton from Texas, so I try to just get smarter people to talk about these things for me to understand. But I'm having a hard time seeing both sides connect on this. It seems that one is saying, look, he's a drug addict, nothing more to the story. And the other side is saying, hey, that's not even the story. The story is actually all of these other things that he was able to do because his dad was vice president.
Yeah, I mean, I think what makes this tough is there's an attempt being made to say that it's just like Ivanka, Don Jr., Eric, and Kushner in terms of getting stuff because his dad was vice president. It seems to me not even remotely equivalent. I mean, Trump had his kids working for him. Ivanka was sitting in for Trump once when they were in, was it Japan, or I don't even know, Helsinki, I don't remember when, or sat in for the Secretary of State. Like, I think that to some degree, if you're the vice president's kid, there are going to be opportunities for you to do things that will be given to you. And then there's a question as to whether you do something inappropriate or not. And we can sort of explore that. It just seems to be on a different playing field than what Trump was doing with his kids. And the very people obsessed with Hunter said nothing and don't even care about what was going on with Kushner and Ivanka and Don Jr. So it seems a little bit hypocritical to me, I would say.
I can agree with that sentiment. What about the issues around Fauci and the allegations of perjury?
Yeah, I looked at that and just, it didn't seem to me that that there was credibility to the perjury allegation.
So you think that we weren't funding gain of function research? You think that that wasn't semantics, that that's literally the case, that there was no American funding in any stretch of gain of function research? Do you believe that that's the case?
How can I answer this in the most sort of like a relevant way? I agree with you that there is a semantic component to this in terms of how does an institution define gain of function research and how are Republicans defining it in this war they're waging against Anthony Fauci. So in some sense, it actually, the semantics are sort of like what's relevant here. Let me put it a different way. I have seen no evidence to date that Anthony Fauci was, for malicious reasons, hiding the nature of what the US was funding, regardless of the name you assign to it. And I'm willing to have my mind changed about that if someone can show me, no, Fauci was deliberately obfuscating. He knows he was obfuscating. And the spirit of what he was saying, not semantically, but the spirit of what he was saying was wrong. I've not seen evidence of that to date.
Okay, that's very eloquently said, and I very much appreciate your point of view, and thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure. Alexander the Texan, I might even call it a perfect phone call, quite frankly. Very glad to exchange ideas on that front. One of our sponsors is privacy.com. They're giving you $5 when you sign up for their completely free service at privacy.com/Pacman. I've been using Privacy for a little over a year now. You've heard me talk about it before. It's a lifesaver, and here's how it works. Takes just a couple of minutes to set up. Anytime you buy something online or on the phone, instead of actually using your real credit card number, the Privacy app and the browser plugin let you give each company a randomized virtual credit card number that you create out of thin air. It'll even autofill the card number with one click. And the payment is taken out of your checking account without the merchant ever knowing your real information. So this allows you to keep your banking information secure, but also to take control of your finances. You can create up to 12 of these virtual credit cards a month. You can set spending limits. You can freeze them. You can delete them anytime you want. So when you do this, it means you're not going to be charged when you don't want to be, because you can destroy the virtual card number right after using it, which, for instance, I love using free trials because I know I won't be charged when the trial is over if I use a virtual credit card number. You're keeping your identity private by not telling companies who you are. You're keeping your bank or credit card info protected against data breaches and identity theft. And it's free. And like I said, you'll get $5 to spend when you sign up at privacy.com/Pacman.